Well, good evening, everybody. It's the Gamer Dad here. Today we're going to talk about Call of Duty Ghosts and a trend or a feeling that I have that watching gameplay, I've watched a lot today, and then of course yesterday during the review, it was pretty incredible. The trailer is really jam-packed, and there's a lot of big changes to this series, but there's one trend that I feel, or I notice, Infinity Ward is starting to really push. And it's a good trend. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And they're pushing engagement. It seems as though they're really designing the game around the core concept of keeping players in a continued action or interaction with other players. Now, I have some points and some different examples to bring up and some pictures on the screen to kind of go with this theory here or this trend that I feel that I'm noticing. And so we'll start it off first and foremost. Something that's been stated in videos everywhere, bloggers are talking about it in the multiplayer reveal, and that's the new ground-based kill streaks. Infinity Ward seems to be pushing hard how they love that the kill streaks are ground-based, or taking away from a lot of the air-based kill streaks. And we're all gamers out there, and sometimes when the drones are flying or attack helicopters or choppers or whatever's going on, we get into the building and sometimes we just kind of hunker down till either someone takes it out or it goes away or something like that, and it kind of disengages us from combat because we spend the whole time fleeing and running from these air-based kill streaks. And so the ground-based kill streaks are something they're going towards. An example, and this is not a lethal one, but an example of this is the UAV, and it's bringing about team play even with a UAV. Because before, you get a UAV, click, you call it, boom, you go. It doesn't matter if anybody else has it. If you call it and somebody else calls it, and 30 seconds later it goes away. It's just kind of how it is. But now they're going to start stacking the UAVs. So 1 to 4, and the more UAVs your team has out, the better it's going to do. So when you get one UAV, you place it down on your mini-map on the top left, it's going to show up a red dot when you or your enemy has line of sight with the enemy. You or your teammate has line of sight with the enemy. If you put 2 down, it's going to act as a normal UAV that we saw in other Modern Warfare games. When you put 3 UAVs down, not just you, but your team has 3 going, it's a faster UAV. So the screen's going to swipe faster, and you see the red dots sooner. And then finally, when your team has 4 UAVs going, which is the cap, it acts as the advanced UAV that we saw in like Modern Warfare 3, where it had the little triangles as the screen swiped. So I thought that was pretty cool. It embraces team play, it embraces and encourages interaction. Another example of the way that they're trying to push combat and constant engagement is Riley, the dog. I mean, think about what Riley does. He follows you around the map, he kills, he takes people out that kill you, and although I kind of feel like he's a little gimmicky, I mean, dogs are cool, don't get me wrong, but and I'm sure when you actually get him and you play with him, it's going to be pretty awesome. But what is he in essence? I mean, when you think about what he does, he's basically an escort helicopter. That's what he does. But so they took it from the air and they put it on the ground. And so, yet again, they're pushing this continued engagement. You call him in, he follows you around on the ground. The second point towards this is the mantling and the knee sliding. Now, there's no dolphin diving. I mean, that's kind of a Treyarch thing. But, I mean, even think about it, the move of dolphin diving is going prone and laying down. And so you become stationary. Whereas mantling and knee sliding are continued motion. They're interaction that keeps the player character engaged in the combat. When you mantle over something, you're not stopping and then climbing and then jumping off and then going. I mean, you're going over. When you're knee sliding, it's because you want to stay engaged in the combat. The third point I feel that I was kind of pushing towards this is the battle chatter. I am extremely stoked and very happy about battle chatter. I feel like this is going to give the Battlefield a closer, more immersive feel to it. It's gonna going to add a pinch of chaos to it as well, because there's going to be voices going everywhere, and especially when we all get this and we're new and we're figuring out what do they mean that it's by the totem pole or the water tower. Where's the water tower? And you got all these voices going on. But I think, again, this is what keeps people moving. It's alerting people to where the action is. So you're not spawning and running in circles chasing the red dots all around the map. You know what's going on. Yet again, another example of Infinity Ward pushing the engagement level, which is really cool to see.
Wow.
Is the score and the overall scorecard of when you're in the gameplay. Every video, I'm kind of enamored with the way that the UI is set up. I mean, the kill death ratio, there we go, assists, your scores on the top right hand corner, just underneath that's your kill feed. It's kind of faded out a little bit, but you see what's going on. Bottom left hand corner, you in a very sleek style, you have your what gameplay style, what the score's looking like, and then when you want to see how the overall team's doing or the overall map is doing, and you hit tab if you're a PC player or whatever button on your console, and it pulls up the score for the map. It pulls up on the right hand side near the top, so you don't have this big old screen blocking the center of your monitor or TV now, which stops you from combat, and a lot of times gets me killed when I'm curious how well or terrible I'm doing. Now it comes up on the top right hand corner. Yet again, it's very seamless. It almost feels very intrinsic to a player, because you're no longer taking away from the valuable real estate of the center screen. What you're doing is you're keeping that user engaged in combat at all times, which, again, and I know I say it a lot, that's pretty cool. I think the fifth point I would make, and this is kind of relating to the UI, is the map. I mean, look on the top left-hand corner. See how it's kind of stretched out? It's longer. It's not as tall and square as they have been in the past. I guess we call that a rectangle in some circles. I feel this is going to be a tremendous benefit rooting out campers. Look, if you're a camper, that's great. You bought the game just like we do, but you're going to have some hurt coming, because especially when you have that stacked 4 UAVs, you're going to be able to see a lot of the map. I feel like you have a lot more visibility to what's going on, and when you have a lot more visibility to what's going on as that user that running through the map and killing people, and you look up to the top left hand corner and you see 3 or 4 dots, it keeps you, again, Infinity Ward is pushing you into combat. Really awesome. The sixth thing that I was thinking about, as I'm watching these videos, is the game modes. I mean, we've seen a lot of Cranked. I think I watched a FaZe video on Cranked. I watched I think IGN has one posted on Cranked. The multiplayer reveal was playing Cranked, and so this seems to be like when Kill Confirmed came out, and that was all that they played during reveals was Kill Confirmed, and then which is awesome. It's a great play style. But Cranked, talk about pushing the character into combat. That's all you do. You shoot somebody, you got 30 seconds to live before you go shoot somebody else. That's pushing into combat whether you like it or not. If you don't like fast-paced games, don't play Cranked. And even the play on Search and Destroy, which is the search and rescue, that even pushes people out of their comfort zone. Search and Destroy is very meticulous. It's very slow going. It's very deliberate. You don't make a lot of rash decisions, but I think people are really going to start making some rash decisions. That's a tough one. They're going to start doing that when there's a dog tag laying out there, and that precious team member that could make the difference between winning the round or not. If they just get that tag, maybe that'll help. But then you got senior camper or sniper over here watching just that tag to make sure somebody else doesn't come out and get it. So it's going to really create a dynamic gameplay. And finally, I feel like the top player receiving a briefcase, I think that's a really cool, well-done feature. In essence, you've created a team of bounty hunters. If you're the top dog on the team, you got 6 or 8 or 12 or however many people they're wanting to come after you because they want that briefcase to get whatever perk they get from that briefcase. So you better watch out. Anyway, this is why I'm really excited about what Infinity Ward is doing, pushing us into an engagement, which is what we all like. So thank you so much for listening to this video. I'm looking forward to making more. I'm going to go ahead and hug my kiddos and put them down for bed. You guys have a great night.
I agree.